we are joined by the guys from Alley Cat Games.
We have Cesar and Simon. Hey guys, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
How's the expo been going for you? Have you been hooking up with plenty of people?
Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah,
really great opportunity to chat with our fans, and we've got a Discord going. We've been doing some play tests and lots of live streams. So yeah, really great.
Cool. Fantastic. Right, well, Alley Cat Games, we've a couple of games that we want to cover. We want to see what the crack is with them. Kicking off, we have Dice Theme Park. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, Simon, do you want to start that one and I can do the next one maybe?
Yeah, sure. I guess so. Dice Theme Park is the sequel to our most popular game, which is Dice Hospital. So Dice Hospital is a dice manipulation and worker placement game, and Dice Theme Park reimagines the setting in a theme park setting. So it's no longer a worker placement game; it's a dice manipulation and dice movement game. So there's a very interesting cascade mechanic, which dice cascade mechanic, which the designers Daryl and Adrian have brought to the game. So they've really come up with a really interesting and unique mechanic for Dice Theme Park. And then it's been developed by Mike Nudd as well, who's the co-designer of Dice Hospital. So it really has a really interesting twist on dice manipulation and also still has a feel like Dice Hospital. It's a slight increase in complexity and a very slightly longer playtime. But we think that fans of Dice Hospital will really get a lot out of Dice Theme Park, and we can't wait to show it to everyone really.
And how many folks can play at a time? So 2 to 4, 2 to 6, and what's the overall game length like?
Yeah, it's 2 to 4 players. So we're currently looking at a solo mode as well. We think it's really important to develop solo modes for all of our games where we can. But the Dice Theme Park, the game, is still in very late development, so the solo mode has to kind of come after all of the polish has been put on that. But we are developing the solo mode, and the game itself lasts between, I would say, 90 minutes. It's around 90 minutes to for 4 players, and then slightly less for 2 players. So probably, an hour to 90 minutes. I'd say, wouldn't you say, Cesar? About right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, we're just trying to at the moment cut down on the time, but most of that is done through Tabletop Simulator, which isn't that accurate in terms of physical play testing as any publisher or designer will test.
And it's coming to Kickstarter, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully towards the end of the year, something like October, November time. If we can't make it by then, it will almost certainly be latest January.
Yeah. Awesome. We also have Eternal Palace.
Yeah. So Eternal Palace, we've been working on for the last, year and a bit. Yeah, and when it was pitched to us, it was already in a really good state. Most games that we take on need probably a little bit more work than Eternal Palace did. But Eternal Palace is in a really good place right now. We're really excited about it. It's pretty much done. We're just working on the expansion material, which we're sort of finishing off. And Eternal Palace is a Gateway Plus dice placement game, and the unique thing about it is that when you place your workers, you're actually also moving up a race track. So you're trying to reach the end of a track to get a victory point, and every spot that you visit gives you something. So either resources or extra manipulation material or things like that, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's set in sort of like a Chinese palace. The theme is that you're trying to appease the emperor, and you're like a noble family, and you're trying to sort of help restore the palace and its gardens. And you also create a literal painting piece. So the victory points are actually cut out card that you overlay on top of one another. So it will look like a beautiful landscape as well. So yeah.
Very cool. See, I love artwork in this style, that beautiful classical Oriental style. Look at that. That is just absolutely gorgeous. And some of the gaming components that we were seeing there as well, they look great as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you see it in the camera, but I've got all the 3D printed miniatures for it. So
wow.
there they are, right
Really
there.
Yeah.
But my favourite is probably the ox and the bridge as well. So there we go.
Very pretty.
But yeah, those will come with the deluxe edition, and essentially that part of the game is an area control thing. So the more you spend at a certain location, you'll be the guardian of that building, and that is also worth a victory point. So
And are both these games available for people to demo this weekend?
So Dice Theme Park, we were planning on demoing it, but we kind of decided to concentrate on other games. Eternal Palace, we streamed yesterday with the designer. That was good fun. So yeah, but we're planning on doing what we call the join us at the table scheme. So we'll be running. Obviously we would have done this at physical conventions like the UK Games Expo or Gen Con or Essen, but we're going to try and do something like weekly or fortnightly. A chance for just fans to come and join us, and we'll teach them how to play our upcoming or about to be fulfilled games.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm just bringing up here to remind folk that they can go to your virtual stand, and on the virtual stand, the guys have a Discord, so you can hop in there to keep in touch. And they have some stuff going out across Twitch. The demos wise, there's one scheduled today between 1 and 2:30. Where you're going to be playing Tungaroo. We'll come back to Tungaroo in a wee second. And then events wise, there's a couple of events on today. One of them's just finished. The next one that's coming up is at midday, and that's Matthew Dunstan, a designer live, and he's going to be doing a Q&A, and Alicat Games are there, and they're joined by the Chocolate Factory co-designer. So if you fancy learning a bit more.
Matt is quite a distinguished game designer. So he's most well known for Elysium, which was a Kennerspiel nominee, and he's also most recently known for Monumental, which is a Funforge huge project, like a miniatures game, like a civilization game. So Matt, we're really privileged to be working with Matt and his co-designer Brett. We had Brett on actually on our opening stream, so that should be a really good one because Matt knows his stuff about game design. So I'll be personally joining in to watch that.
Yeah. And if you missed any of the streams that have already happened, you should be able to go back onto the Twitch channel and watch like a rerun of those, so you can catch up.
Absolutely. So let's talk a bit about what you've got coming up then, guys. What's delivering soon?
Let Simon answer that.
Yeah, so as you said, we've got Tungaru, which is designed by Lewis and Stefan Maus, which is one of our in-production projects at the moment. We'll be doing a live stream about it later, so tune in for that. But that's delivering soon. We're really excited about that. That's been manufactured as we speak, and it's a island-hopping Euro game. So people who love sort of conventional resource gathering and resource conversion Euro games will really like the twist that Lewis and Stefan have brought to it, because it's a dice placement game as well. So the dice matter, your position around the islands matter, and it's a really interactive and interesting Euro. So it's art by Andrew Bosley, who did Everdell. He did Tapestry. So we were really privileged to work with Andrew. And it's actually our first board game, so which is quite funny because we don't actually have any board games except for Tungaru coming out, and then also Eternal Palace coming out. All of our previous games haven't actually had a board. So that's Tungaru, which we're really excited about. We've also got Dice Hospital Community Care. So we spoke a little bit about Dice Hospital earlier, the worker placement and dice manipulation game. In Community Care, it's 3 expansions in one box. So we like to think there's an expansion for everyone in that box. There's the city expansion, which has increased interactivity. You're moving your ambulance paramedics around the city to collect dice rather than just the dice draft, which is in the base game. And it also comes with a helicopter mini in the deluxe expansion.
There it is.
We always say that.
I'll give it a little whirl.
So the helicopter mini. Go on, speak again, so.
Yeah, there we go. That's the miniature, and it's pretty cool. And just fortuitously, we decided to do it as a 2-piece set rather than a 1-piece set, and that actually works really well because you can actually plonk the rotor in, and then twist it and make really cool helicopter sounds. So there we go.
Helicopter noises are optional with the expansion, but encouraged.
No, if you're playing with me, the helicopter noises are not optional.
What other aspects are in there?
So we have the city expansion, which comes with the helicopter. We have a maternity expansion, which is it comes with pink dice and maternity wards. I always say it brings the miracle of childbirth to Dice Hospital. It's kind of like a spatial puzzle, and it comes with so the maternity dice have to kind of be separated from the normal patients because you don't want the mothers to get sick, right? If you don't treat them, they neglect normally because of the adjacency to other patients. So it brings in a spatial element to the game, and it also the mothers and the infants have to be discharged together. So there's like more of a timing puzzle in there. So that's the maternity expansion, and then we have the investments expansion, and the investments expansion is my favorite of the three because it brings like infinite customization to your hospital. So there's a new worker placement board which you'll send your workers to. It's a shared worker placement board. So whereas Dice Hospital is usually worker placement on your own player board, there's a shared worker placement board where you have to go to collect investments. And then you place the investments on your existing wards. And that means you can come up with some really interesting combos which have never been possible before. And it really brings out some really amazing turns. I mean, in fact, Cesar and I were talking about it yesterday when we were playtesting. We were reminiscing about our playtesting and how when we got all these investments on different departments, we would always end up having to like record what was going on. Like we felt we needed to get our phone out and record the amazing turns we were doing. It was like, I'm going to treat this yellow dice, but I've got my investment here, so I treat a green dice, and because I'm using my specialist, which is green specialist, that activates their special ability. So loads of really cool customization combos in there. So
you're able to start building in some really nice synergies into your wards.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about Dice Hospital already is activating a yellow department with a yellow specialist brings in a really cool combo. But this like takes it up to 11.
Nice.
So we're really happy with how it's come out. And if you love Dice Hospital, we think is a must-have. And if you are really a big fan of all the expansions, we worked really hard so that you can combine them all together. So you can have all three expansions working together. So
wow.
Nice.
One epic Dice Hospital experience.
Yeah, when we mean epic in terms of time as well. It adds on, it almost doubles the time. But like Simon said, it's got something for everyone. Like we really kept our ear to the ground because Dice Hospital's our baby. It's our evergreen title for us. So we really wanted to listen to, why did people not buy the game? Why do people not enjoy the game? What did people who enjoy the game want more from it? So this is a culmination of virtually all that feedback into one product. So if you didn't like it because you felt like it was multiplayer solitaire, the city expansion is for you. If you didn't like it because you felt it was too light, the investments expansion for you. If you felt like it was too abstract, the maternity expansion is for you, and so forth. So we worked really hard to get that off the ground, and we feel like we said, it's something for everyone.
And then we're able to add each of those three in independently, so I could just play with the maternity, I could just play with the investments.
Yeah, that's how it's meant to be played. Yeah, you're supposed to play each individual expansion one by one, because otherwise, because there are so many nuances to each individual expansion, if you start combining them straight away, you'll probably miss some key rules and not enjoy it as much. So we write in the rules that we recommend you play them one by one. The ones that you think you'd enjoy the most, it's up to you whichever one you want, and then from that point you can start comboing them.
Cool.
Awesome.
Very, very cool.
What else have you got coming up?
So we got 2 tin games. They're kind of like mint tin games. So last year, actually, for the speed dating event, we were pitched a game called Tinder Blocks, and when it first popped up, I shouted, I was with Simon in my living room, and we were flicking through some of the sell sheets, and I was like, sign that game up right now. So we contacted Rob, and we were like, hey, we really like the idea of this. Could you send us a copy? So he sent us one first class. We got it the next day, and we played it, and me and Simon were instantly hooked because as a product, it's fantastic. It's so basically the best way to describe it for people who know anything about games is it's reverse Jenga. So unlike Jenga, where you build up the blocks and then you're trying to move them out and then put them at the top, Tinder Blocks actually starts with a small row of wooden blocks, and then you're trying to build up. But the trick is they're small and you're using tweezers. So what it actually ends up looking like is like a fire. So you got wooden brown blocks, and then you got wooden cubes, which are red and yellow. So as you're building it up, it looks like a fire. But the trick is that you don't want to place something and then it falls apart, because then you're eliminated. So it's a very quick game like that, and that's our first foray into mass market, as it were, because it's something that anyone can play.
And what size is the actual game box?
I think I have. Oh. Well, it's actually downstairs. I don't have a copy on me right now, but it's quite small. It's about, I don't know, it's like a mint tin, standard mint tin. If anyone's got Mint Delivery or Mint Works, it's like that, but it's just a little bit thicker. So it's almost, I think it's about twice the thickness. Just because
about the same size as Mint Delivery and Mint Works, because they are already thicker. So.
Yeah, it's probably marginally bigger than those in terms of depth, but only a little bit. But yeah, it's meant to be something that you can fit in your pocket, and that's what we felt like. When we saw it as a product, we were instantly hooked by it because of the fact it's portable, it's fun, and you can play with anyone. You can play it in the pub, you can take it with you to play with your grandma and granddad, whatever. And that's why we're instantly hooked.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah,
and
we've got in sort of partnership with Tinder Blocks, we developed Kitten, and Kitten is another dexterity game which we developed with polyomino cat meeples, and the game is based around balancing these cat meeples matching a certain card. But rather than Tinder Blocks is a very tense and like building up to a moment when the fire collapses sort of game. Kitten is a very fast-paced, cat-stacking, action-packed game. So you just flip a card, and then everyone is instantly grabbing these cat meeples, trying to stack them up in different, in the same sort of coordination. And as soon as they've done that, they shout meow, and then like that's if they're the first to shout meow and they've done it right, then they win the card.
Yeah,
I expect to hear a lot of this next year at Expo when we're in the pub, just from across the hall.
Yeah. And
we actually demoed it for the first time at PAX last year in December, and we put it at the corner where people could see it as they were walking by. And honestly, like, so many people just stopped just to take a look at, why have you got stacked, like cats that are stacked like that? And then every time we'd play it and I'd see the volunteers demo it, that I would look over in my corner of my eye and I had people shout meow and be like, ah. So it was, it's one of these games where it's really silly fun, a little bit like Double, like Happy Salmon, something that anyone can pick up, and it's silly. And we're quite glad we developed it internally. It was an original idea from Mike Nudd. He was like, why don't you stack cats? And then me and Simon came up with the design of it. So we're really pleased with how it came out. And it was so popular that actually Barnes & Noble approached us at Essen, and they said, we want to buy a few thousand of copies of this.
Wow.
And we'd never met them. And they were introduced to us by a distributor of ours in the US, and our distributor was like, "You got to check this game out. It's great. You're going to sell loads of it." So the director of sales at Barnes & Noble for games, she came to our stand. She said, "I love Kitten. I love Tinder Blocks. How can we get something working?" So they've ordered a few thousand of each, and
nicely done.
That's we're really happy with that. So hopefully, our plans of getting into mass market and showing that we can make games that are not just clones of Monopoly or Snap, be actually fun, and at a price point that grandma and granddad can afford, and pick up as they're doing their groceries or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other points to cover, guys?
Simon, do you want to talk about our Dice Hospital game?
Yeah, we had a big announcement this weekend, which we've been kind of working on behind the scenes, and we were really excited for. We just announced Dice Hospital Emergency Roll, which is a roll and write set in the Dice Hospital universe, designed by Matt Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert, who designed Chocolate Factory for us. But it's not as heavy as Chocolate Factory. It's a lightish roll and write game, but it's a really interesting game because it's a flip and roll and write. Okay, so you've heard the term roll and write, and you've heard the term flip and write.
Yeah.
Well, this combines the two. You flip a card, you roll the dice, and then the dice match an ambulance on the card, which and then there's a drafting phase where one player drafts one of those dice, and then all other players can then choose from the remaining dice.
Yeah.
So it's got all the best of, we think, everything that a roll and write should have. It's got the infinite scalability of a roll and write, but it also has the player having their own personal feeling of doing something different to everyone else. Like the active player gets to draft that die, and only they get to draft that die. Now there are some rules so that the other players can follow them. But yeah, we think it's a really interesting take on the roll and write genre. Yeah. So the flip and roll and write. We think it's the first flip and roll and write, but we're not sure.
Yeah, and the other cool thing about it is it will be at a price point that, if you felt like Dice Hospital was too expensive, or it just was a bit too much or whatever, then this is an entry level. It's not an entry level version of Dice Hospital, because it is obviously a flip roll and write, but it gives you a similar feel. Obviously, it's in the same universe, and it will be something like £15-ish. For it. So yeah,
awesome. We're planning on releasing that to be available for people with the Dice Theme Park Kickstarter. So when Dice Theme Park goes on Kickstarter, this will be a product we're launching alongside it. So you can have it as an add-on and get it delivered first with your Dice Theme Park game.
Awesome stuff. Happy days. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching at home, obviously, remember, there's 2 Kickstarters coming up for Eternal Palace and Dice Theme Park. If you haven't already, hop over to the exhibitor hall and check out Alley Cat Games there. There's loads of links on how you can connect with the guys and join in with some of the events and stuff that are still happening today. Thank you very much, Cesar and Simon. That was awesome to get an update. We hope you're having a great show, and we are going to. You. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say thank you very much. There was one other announcement, in that we have a secret Martin Wallace reprint as well. So we're releasing cryptic information about that online throughout social media, but we're going to be announcing that soon, and that will also be our third and final Kickstarter of the season. After Eternal Palace, so watch out for a Martin Wallace reprint. So if you're a fan of his games, or you like brass or whatever, this might be, and hopefully for you as well.
Fantastic.